FinsolLTD.com presents a carefully crafted illusion of a modern brokerage platform, polished with convincing visual design, confident statements about international investment solutions, and promises of security, transparency, and expert financial support. Yet every verifiable detail points to something entirely different. The site is not a broker, not a financial institution, and not an investment company. It is a clone built on a stolen identity, constructed to imitate legitimate firms and exploit the trust of unsuspecting users. The danger of such platforms has grown dramatically in the period between 2024 and 2025, as fraudulent operators increasingly rely on brand impersonation, falsified corporate details, and fabricated trading dashboards. This case is a textbook example of this phenomenon. The domain FinsolLTD.com was registered on the 12th of November 2025, meaning the project is only a few weeks old, despite marketing claims suggesting long-term history. Its ownership is fully hidden behind Cloudflare, a common masking layer used by high-risk offshore schemes, and the registration was processed through Two Cows Domains Incorporated, which frequently appears in investigations of short-lived scam platforms. Legitimate financial companies do not launch through domains created overnight, and they certainly do not obscure the identity of their operators this thoroughly. The absence of a verifiable owner, legal entity, or operational history is the first clear indicator that this platform is designed to operate temporarily, extract funds, and disappear. The choice of the name Finsol is strategic. The name is shared by several reputable firms around the world, including a South African credit provider, a British accounting firm, and multiple consulting groups operating under similar branding. The operators of FinsolLTD.com rely on this overlap. When a potential victim searches for the name online, they find legitimate companies and assume the website is part of a recognized network. In reality, FinsolLTD.com has no connection to any of these entities. This is a classic clone company model where scammers imitate well-known brands to borrow credibility they did not earn. One of the most striking pieces of evidence confirming the fraudulent nature of the project is its use of a stolen corporate address. The site lists One Pickwick Plaza in Greenwich, Connecticut as its headquarters. This address belongs not to FinsolLTD.com, but to Interactive Brokers, LLC, one of the most established and highly regulated brokerage firms in the world. The embedded map on the scam website even displays Interactive Brokers when opened, revealing the deception in full. No legitimate company accidentally misrepresents its headquarters as the office of a global financial giant. This is a deliberate act of impersonation intended to create the illusion of legitimacy where none exists. Licensing checks further expose the truth. A real broker must hold at least one financial license, whether from the Financial Conduct Authority in the United Kingdom, the Cyprus Securities and Exchange Commission in the European Union, the Australian Securities and Investments Commission, or the National Futures Association in the United States. Searches across all major regulators show no record of FinsolTD.com. It is not licensed, not registered, and not authorized to accept client funds or provide financial services. A platform operating without regulation is not a financial institution. It is an illegal operation by definition. Even the domain name itself is a warning sign. Authentic businesses do not use domains like appleinc.com or teslalc.com. Reputable companies avoid placing their legal form in the domain, yet scam brokers routinely do exactly this. The LTD in FinsolTD.com is a deliberate choice, designed to mimic the appearance of an official registered corporation. This tactic, widespread among clone platforms in recent years, is intended to trick inexperienced users into believing they are dealing with a legally recognized entity. Independent investigative platforms reinforce these conclusions. TellTrue identifies FinsolLTD.com as a fraudulent project, citing the stolen corporate address, the absence of any regulatory license, and the use of a fake trading interface that simulates profits to manipulate victims. Fex Idea classifies the site as a dangerous impersonation scheme, emphasizing that it operates under a stolen identity with the intention of extracting user deposits. These assessments align with all available evidence. The absence of user reviews is another red flag. Real brokerages build reputations over time through verifiable feedback, digital footprints, and public presence. Scam platforms, especially newly launched ones, exist in silence until victims begin to report their losses. Finsol.com has no visible history, no community presence, and no independent references, which is entirely consistent with a project at the earliest stage of its fraudulent life cycle. The operational scheme behind FinsolLTD.com follows a familiar pattern used by countless fake brokers. A potential client is contacted through advertisements, cold calls, or social media messages. After registration, the user sees fabricated profits generated by a simulated platform. This illusion encourages larger deposits, often justified by assigned analysts, who pressure the client into committing more funds. Once the user attempts to withdraw any portion of their balance, problems begin. The account is suddenly restricted, and the victim is asked to pay invented fees, taxes, or security deposits. Even if these payments are made, no withdrawal ever occurs. Eventually, communication is cut off, and the account becomes inaccessible. This structure mirrors hundreds of documented scam cases across the financial industry. When all elements are combined, the stolen interactive broker's address, the newly registered and anonymous domain, the absence of all regulatory licensing, the impersonation of legitimate Finsol companies, the complete lack of reputation, and the agreement among independent investigators, the conclusion is unequivocal. FinsolLTD.com is a clone company and a 100% fraudulent operation. It exists for a single purpose: to take money from users under the guise of an investment service. It offers no protection, no transparency, and no legal standing. If you have already interacted with this platform, do not send additional payments, do not provide personal documents, and document all communication immediately. If funds have been transferred, contact your bank or payment provider at once. For further assistance in tracing or disputing fraudulent transactions, you may contact Watchdog Online at proton.me, include your name and your phone number, and a specialist will reach out to support you. The objective is simple: to ensure that fewer people fall victim to operations like this one, and to make the digital financial space safer for everyone. A legitimate broker proves itself through regulation, transparency, and verified history. A scam broker proves itself through stolen identities, hidden ownership, and broken promises. In the case of FinsolLTD.com, every indicator points to deception, and none to legitimacy.